Imagine living in a year when the sun almost disappears, the harvest fails, diseases spread, and the whole world seems to be in ruins. For millions of people, this year existed, 536 AD, called by historians the worst year to be alive. Today you will discover what happened in this dark year and why it changed the history of humanity. Think of yourself or your family without technology, without medicine, depending only on the food that the land could produce. Now imagine the sun barely appearing for months, the intense cold arriving even in summer, and famine spreading. Fear, uncertainty, and hopelessness were constant. This was the world in 536 AD, a time when survival became a daily struggle. The year 536 teaches us something profound: the fragility of human life in the face of the forces of nature and events beyond our control. Even powerful civilizations and vibrant cities were left at the mercy of the unknown. Acute lembred, however advanced we may be, the planet always has its own forces. The phenomenon of the darkened sun. Chronicles of the time describe a dark sky, the sun appearing dim for 18 months, and temperatures that dropped drastically in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. This wasn't just cold: crops failed, famine spread, and survival became uncertain. Recent scientific studies show that this likely happened due to massive volcanic eruptions, which spread ash into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight. The drastic drop in food production and migration of populations in search of survival, disease, and social chaos. The consequence: a winter without summer, a drastic drop in food production, and migration of populations in search of survival. Amidst the famine, diseases emerged that decimated communities. The combination of cold, malnutrition, and displacement caused social chaos and instability. It is one of the earliest known historical examples of how extreme weather events can devastate entire civilizations. The year 536 was not just an isolated disaster. It triggered a series of crises in the following years, including the Plague of Justinian, which killed millions. Entire regions of Europe and Asia faced years of famine and political instability. That's why historians call this period the beginning of the dark ages of climate. Now imagine a world without the internet, without strong governments that could intervene, without food banks or vaccines. The sun disappears, famine spreads, and death becomes commonplace. Millions of people lived in constant fear and uncertainty, not knowing if they would see the next summer. The year 536 AD shows us that human history can be altered in an instant by the power of nature. AD was the worst year to be alive, but it's also a reminder: even in the worst crises, humanity survives and learns to adapt. Today, thanks to science and technology, we understand the climate and natural hazards better, but the lesson remains: a world is unpredictable and powerful. If you want to discover more shocking facts and events that changed the course of history, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the bell. Because the more we learn about the past, the more we understand how to survive and thrive in the present.